Charles, whenever you are ready, please tell us a bit about yourself, and we'll be ready to get going.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ade. I really like what you're doing, especially for Nigerian students. My name is Charles. I finished my PhD sometime 2018, and currently I work with University of Nebraska, where I teach food scientists some engineering fundamentals. My research is basically on how to actually apply mathematics in cooking food. So if you are cooking a wedu at home, we want to be able to add mathematics to it, because we are thinking that in the future, cooking will be done by machine. You just need to put all your ingredients, and we have a mathematical model that is doing all the cooking for you. It's so fascinating. I'm so passionate about this aspect of research. But today, Dr. Ade invited me to come talk to you guys, and willingly, I'm going to expose just two things. Why you've been having all the rejection, why you've not been, your email has not been returned, or even when they return it, they tell you they don't have grants. I'm going to be say, just listen to things. But before then, I will make assumptions, 3 assumptions. So you get it. I'm going to give you 2 tips, just 2. And if you pardon me, Dr. Ade, I will make 3 assumptions, then we will get going. I know most of you want to come to North America for your education, which is good. I did that too. I aspired that, and I achieved it. Dr. Ade aspired it, and she achieved it. So the assumption I'm going to make today is that everybody here is coming for a PhD program.
Some are coming from master, so
it's okay. It's okay. I'm making an assumption. I'm making an assumption. So it is for good if you are actually coming for masters and you are getting a tips for PhD. That makes your application way better. Do you get it? So that's my first assumption. So everything I'm doing is about PhD. But you can ask questions about masters, another thing. The second assumption is that you are coming for a research-based PhD or masters, so to say. So you're not coming for a, what do they call it again? The class?
Yeah, course-based.
But if you are coming for a course-based and you happen to be here today, then it's an advantage for you, because now you've been exposed to research-based application. The third assumption I'm going to be making is that you come in to be a student. It's okay. I came as a student and I decided to stay back. Ade came and we all decided to stay back. You can make that decision when you are here. At the back of your mind, you are not fleeing Nigeria. You come in as a scholar. You come in as a researcher. That's the 3 assumptions. And I'm going to go into it because of our time. I'm just going to rush through it and go to the 2 things I want you to know today. The first thing, sorry.
I want to introduce someone. So Michael Olufemi is my manager. As you guys know, on a regular basis, we have managers who help us coordinate the session. So Michael Olufemi is going to be coordinating the session today. I also want to say, for every question you have today that you want answers to, please put those questions in the comment box. If it's not in the comment box, we are not answering it. Put it in the comment box so that we can, look at it one after the other. So nobody is going to say they missed my question. Please ask one question at a time. So that way, other people too can get their questions answered. Thank you. Professor, you can move on.
And what's that name again? Your manager?
Michael,
please, can you put on my first slide?
I'm the one who's going to put on your slides, bro.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Because I'm the host, so I'm the one who can put up slides.
So doing that, I want you to count yourself privileged that you are here today, because
Is that the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to be getting the tips I give to about 32 different mentees of mine. And many of them have been able to secure admission with funding in US, as well in Canada. So the first slide is about, Dr. Ade, if you pardon me, before I talked about the two things I actually wanted to speak about today, can you pardon me if I can just make some gradual projection to it?
Yes,
just
please. Yes.
So the first slide you are seeing here is the process you're going to take. The first thing is you need to identify a scholarship. Why? Because you cannot come for a PhD research base without any form of funding. You need a grant, you need a fellowship. That's the way it works in North America. So the second one is your pre-application, where you write your GRE. If you are going to the US, some schools in the US, you don't need GRE, but some you need it. In Canada, most schools, you don't even need GRE. For me personally, I think GRE should be scrapped. I did it 10 years ago, but I think it should be scrapped. It is meaningless. It doesn't make any sense. The third one is application proper. You do the application. The fourth one is your post-application. So these are the process. I'm not going to detail on them, but I will just explain the first two, scholarship and the pre-application. The next slide.
Okay.
And if I'm too fast, it's fine. You can call me back like I did say, ask questions. So on this slide, sorry, I have to go to the slide myself. I can't see. I kind of divide it into three. The first, these are where we have the fund, where we have the money in the university. Now, I'm not talking about scholarship that are agency-based, that is outside the university. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about money in the university. I just checked now, just now when I came, the money, I'm going to be telling you that the money in the universities for education in North America is way too much for you not to get something. You need a pile of it. The first place where we have the money is with the university. The government, on an annual basis, they fund education in every state. I'm not talking about the federal government. The state government fund education. Recently, I was involved in a committee whereby, because of the COVID-19, there is cut of funding.
Yes.
And that fund is going to affect endowment that is available, fellowship that is available for students. And we are trying to figure out, how can we do this? So the first kind of money you want to target is the one that is domiciled in the university. We also have few that are domiciled in the faculty, like Faculty of Engineering. They have some fellowship. They might say, okay, this time we're going to give fellowship to 25 PhD students. We also have such thing in department. We have alumni that they've opened endowment fund for PhD study. And this money are way too much. It's going to pay your tuition. It's going to pay your living expense, your health, and everything. And that is why you should target this kind of fellowship, the one that is available in the university. It can cost, in University of Manitoba, we call it the University of Manitoba Graduate Fellowship. It is $25,000 a year, and you get it for 6 years, and your tuition is waived. So this is the kind of money you can really target. The second one is the research. I just checked this. I just drove in and I checked this.
So, Professor, if I can cut in, Professor.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to cut in and expand, help them understand. As Professor Charles is explaining, there are some funding that you can get from the university that you actually don't need to have a professor accept you.
Yeah.
You can compete for those funding. You can send in your application package. Once you know that your package is competitive, just make sure it's competitive. You are automatically enrolled into those. Some of them come as what is said. Some of them are doing scholarships. Some of them are given by the school itself in different fashions. So for those, you don't even need a professor. You just need to know what funding that school supply. What are the categories of funding? And you will target correctly. Sometimes you are just busy emailing professors And
Yeah.
there are already funding that you can apply to. That all you need to do is send in your application. So
Yeah.
my question to you as a candidate who is trying to get into grad school is, are you targeting correctly? Do you understand what funding options are available in those schools? Are you targeting those funding options? Sometimes you don't need to bother the professor. Make sure you understand for each school you have identified, what are my funding options? And if it requires a professor, yes, now go and email the professor. If it does not, go and put a package together and compete for that scholarship. Thank you. You can keep going.
Thank you very much. You explained it the way I wanted to, but I couldn't. Thank you. Those are funding. You can target, if you have first class, target them. You have 2-1, strong 2-1, target those ones. Then there are some funding that are domiciled with the professor. Currently, I don't have much, but a lot of professors have about $200,000, $1 million. I know a professor in University of Manitoba that have up to 20 million in funding. You can target those ones too. Then the last one is what we call the teaching assistantship. This comes like an employment or stipend. Most time, the teaching assistantship will not pay your tuition. And for us coming from Nigeria, with our experience, I think we should target, it's good you teach, yeah? I thought, and I know Dr. Ade thought too, doing PhD, and you get more dollars, right? But you should target the one that will pay your tuition, your living expenses, as well give you stipend, and that is those two. How do you do this? I know Ade is going to chip in on this too. So I'm just going to cite, you see those things in red?
So Charles has a cousin. So for those who don't know, Charles is my first maths tutor in life.
I did not
We grew up together in Mokola, Ibadan, and he was the first teacher I had. So he's my big brother.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Please, Ade, pardon me. You know, I also find out that me and Ade, we actually started primary school the same. Though I'm the senior in primary school, we went to the same primary school. So we have a lot of history together. If you want to know, you can give me a message after. If you look at that slide very well, I put something in red. Those are the things you need to do if you are targeting the material, how you package, the package Ade is talking about, what you need in those package, at least the minimum, what you need. Then the second one, I put, you need everything you need for the first to approach a professor, but you also need something that Ade has identified as an hindrance, and I believe it is, and that is the cold email. You need to understand how to approach a professor. They're very busy. Like I'm a junior professor, and I get nothing less than 50 emails a day. So you are targeting maybe someone much more full professor, tenured. They have a lot of emails. So you need to know how to write this email. Then lastly, before I move away from this slide, I think Ade, your picture is blocking it, but don't worry, I will say it. The number of universities in North America is more than 3,000. In Canada, we have up to more than 90 universities. So the problem, if you don't get a place, you don't get a scholarship, it's not anybody's problem. I'm telling you, it's just because you've not done the homework. Even if you have tutu, if you have whatever you have, you've not done your homework. That's what he's just telling me. But thank God you are here today, because we can do this together. My next slide, please. The next slide.
Sorry, is that the right one?
Excuse me, guys. Is that my next slide? Okay, let me quickly talk about this, so I can open my window for more fresh air. So, your own reason why you're not getting this might be you don't want to write GRA. I agree with you. You don't need to write GRA. There are many skills. I just did this yesterday online. I found a lot. I found up to 100 skills. You don't need GRA. So why are you using that as an excuse? A very good one, North Carolina State University. I know about it. A lot of my mentees are going there this year.
Saskatchewan. I went to Saskatchewan. I didn't write any GRE.
You don't need GRE. All these schools are very research intensive schools. The second one, some of you, because the 3,000, I always tell students, you need to apply to about 6. two top school, if you want top school, like Cornell, like Harvard, like McGill, like two middle school, like those in the middle, then two bottom school, and most of them charge. But they can actually waive it for you if you approach them rightly. But there are other schools, they don't charge. You don't need money to apply. University of Alberta is one. I just find out. But I think Nigeria is not in the list of University of Alberta. But I know there are a lot of African people. So if you are from Ethiopia here, you can apply to University of Alberta. And lastly, we have schools that even with 2-2, you can get in. I have a student that just got in with third class. He told me that he made third class because he was chasing women around. But thank God, the guy is good now. He has improved. He's going to Colorado State University with a third class. So if you have a third class here and you are thinking, oh, because of third class or 2-2, I can't make it, it's a lie. So I hope that I've been able to erase those education you had in the past telling you that you need GRA, you need application fee, or if you made 2-2, you can apply. It's all lie. Now, let me continue. Before you understand the next slide, or you want to chip in something, can you chip in while I come back?
Yes, I can chip in a few things that you need to think about. So I want to talk about, there is one thing which is I want the admission. There is another thing, I want the scholarship. If you're thinking of, I just want admission and I will pay for a couple of these things, then you, with your 2-2, some schools can give you admission. Once you get in your first year, you can prove yourself and get very good grades. And then you now have opportunity to get that scholarship. On the admission fee, I always encourage students that I don't want the admission fee to be the one conditioning you. I believe that once you graduate from school, you should have a plan. And one of the plans you must have is saving up money to be able to compete for the things you want to compete for. So it is recommended that you start to save some money so that when it's time for application fees, if you're applying to 6 schools, I'm not going to suggest that you target only the 6 schools that will not collect application fees. As Dr. Charles said, he wants you to target 2 very high schools, 2 middle school, and 2 low school. So, some of them will need application fees. So it's very critical that you have some money somewhere. These application fees are in the range of $70 to $120. I think you should be able to save up to be able to achieve this for yourself as a goal. On GRE, I understand, especially for PhD, it is debatable that you don't need GRE. And oftentimes when you have a professor, a professor can help you push such that you don't need to present that GRE. So this is one of the reasons why it is good for you to have a professor, because it can help you eliminate the clause of a GRE.
Yeah.
Prof, you can continue.
Thank you very much. That's a very big one. A professor can eliminate a lot of things. You will see it. So I just want to tell a sort of story of some of my students that are in America for a very wonderful education. Sorry, I covered their name because I only have one person permission. Vincent Anene. March, just 2 months ago, or 3 months, thereabouts. This guy just won a scholarship of 88 million naira. He's actually here, and because he gave me a go ahead, that's why I'm calling his name. 88 million naira. And let me also kind of erase one thing. He actually got the scholarship without doing masters. He thought I was joking when I told him 2 years ago that it's possible. From BSc, he went to PhD. He had a first class, yeah? But you might be saying it's because he had a first class. That's not true. I have another student. I cover his name. He's from, I don't even know him. I've not seen these guys. Only Anene I have rapport with. These are just people that contact me. And we work together. He's from Ilorin. He had 2-1. He had full scholarship. Sorry, partial scholarship. She has partial scholarship. She's coming. But the guy that had 2-2 had a full scholarship. So if you have tutu here, you don't have any reason. You just need the passion, the energy. Now, the next slide. So I'm just telling you this story to increase that positive energy in you. Look at this. This will explain a lot of things Ade just mentioned. How the process of admission in North America is, if you apply, you send in your statement of purpose, your statement research proposal, everything. Faculty is going to receive the admission, the package. And they will send this package. They will first of all review it. The admission officer, the package will be sent to the department. Why is it freezing?
Okay, it's working again.
Okay, I don't know why. I'm sorry, guys. You know, internet. So your package will be sent to the committee, the admission committee in the department. They are the one that will then analyze your application very well. If you have meet the admission requirements, you have GRA, you have TOEFL, you have, in Canada, you don't need GRA for most of them. You have good SOP, good reference letter for the first guy here. Then let's say in the second scenario, you also meet some minimum requirement for scholarship. Then you have admission, you have an advisor. You've already indicated in your application that you have a professor that is willing to supervise you. You're going to get the admission. They will accept you, no matter what. So this Tony guy is a first-class guy. Okay. So in that, so what I'm saying is that Tony is going to get the acceptance. But Bola is also a first-class guy, but the problem is that he does not contact a professor. Not that they're going to reject him. He has a very good application. They will not reject him. No, they will not reject him. But they will pen him until they are able to get a professor for him. Now look at John. John meet the admission requirements. Good grade, 2-1 or first class, but he couldn't meet the scholarship requirements. And they know that Bola needs money. Now, sorry, John needs money. And John has already contacted an advisor. So we know that there's going to be money coming from a professor. He's going to get the admission. But look at Bola. Bola is not getting it because he did not talk to a professor earlier. He had a first class. So many of you had a first class here, but you're not going that way because you're not doing the right thing. Look at IK, Jack. Jack meets the admission requirement. Well, he did not meet the scholarship requirement. He did not have a professor. They're going to pen him. Why Jack did not have the scholarship is because maybe he made tutu. They will pen Jack and Bola. And look at IK. IK did not meet the requirements, none of the requirements, but the only, perhaps this IK guy, sorry if you are IK, had a third class or tutu. But because a professor is willing to accept IK, they will IK.
Yes.
But accept him based on condition. Maybe he's going to maintain 3.0 the first semester and all that. But look at Femi, the only person that they will reject, the only person that will not make, you guys are 166 here, that will not make the admission today is because if you don't meet the admission requirements, you did not even make any attempt, you did not meet the scholarship, and you did not even approach a professor, you will not come. Dream. Go dream of other thing. Now, Bola that had the first class and Jack that had 2-2 are now competing. This name is going to be sent by the admission committee. Recently, I was involved in one. By our departmental admission officer, he will send the name of these two guys to us because they meet the requirement. It's just that they don't have money. Though Bola has money, Bola has chances. The money I'm talking about is the scholarship from the university. He has chances to get a professor more. But Jack does not. But let's say Jack have a research dense in him. Like he had a lot of experience in research. I'm telling you, Jack that had to we get the admission because a professor is going to approach Jack and interview him. So they're going to send us the name of Bola and Jack. Last week, we received a very, go to the next slide. We received a very similar message like that.
Before I move on, bro, I wanted to encourage our participants. So if you are here, you are listening to us, we want you to start to tweet about this program. We want you to post this on your social media so that other people can also come in and benefit from the show. So please help us put this on your story so that people can come in. Help us tweet about what you're learning here so that more people, your neighbors, your colleagues, who can benefit from this, can join this and participate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's good. You can see this message has covered everything. We got it like the faculty, all the faculty, they will send the name of people like Bola and people like Jack. They both qualify, but they do not have ISO. I froze again.
All right, you're unfrozen, Charles.
Okay, so they're going to send the name to us. If you look at the Excel, they will rank these guys in an Excel. I have the Excel with me. And they will say we should make an offer. What, if you look at it, say make offer. They're giving us to faculty. Because these guys, remember, Bola has the requirement to meet the scholarship, but Jack does not. A lot of professors, they might want to approach Bola because he does not have that research density we want. They might go for the other guy.
Yeah.
So we get messages like this. So what am I saying in essence? Look at Bola. He had a very good grade, first class. But the problem he's having now, why he's competing with a 2-2 in Canada, in America, is because he did not speak to a professor earlier. That comes to the importance of today's, is it webinar or Instagraminar? What are we going to call this?
Anything you call it.
Sure. And when Dr. Ade told me, I'm like, this smart lady is thinking very well. That is the problem. And that is the importance of today. And that's why I say I'm going to tell you just two things. You can add something, Doctor.
Okay, so what I want to add here is this. When you graduate from school, during your final year before you graduate, there's something that you do, which is your final year project. What I have seen from a lot of people in Africa is they recycle these projects. They'll go and pick one project that somebody has done, they'll pay someone and do that. If you have done that, you have done yourself a disservice. One of the criteria for getting attention of a professor is to have a research publication, or you have attended a conference. You have a conference proceedings. Your opportunity to get a conference proceeding is your project, your final year project. So I want to admonish you, if you are in school today or you have finished that project, but you feel like yes, prospect, you can publish it. I want to admonish you and encourage you to publish it. If you are still in school right now, I want to encourage you to not take on any project that doesn't make sense. You need to do a project that is innovative. You need your project to give you a bump, an opportunity to publish. Because if you are, especially if you are in the case of a 2-1 or a 2-2, right? And you are looking at attracting a professor needs to be able to see a writing sample. A writing sample, because you are coming from Africa and they believe that, some of them believe that we don't speak English. Especially if you are trying to dodge TOEFL and IELTS, you don't want to write those. You need a writing sample. And if you have published a work in a journal paper or you have done a conference proceeding, that is a writing sample that is already peer reviewed. So I want to encourage you to make sure that it's not only good grades that you will go to school to collect first class. You need, if you are trying to target a research-related work, you need to demonstrate your ability to do research, and the only way you can do that is to have published a paper or have a conference proceeding or something to show as a writing sample.
Yeah.
That's my contribution, Prof.
That is beautiful. And I'm going to it. Research. My next slide. So this is just telling you the process that you contacting an advisor, a professor, is very important. The next slide. So remember when I started today, I just said two things. Now I'm going to say that two things. Importance. They're all important. The research, but because of time, I'm just going to pick the most important, the cold email. Then we talk a little about statement of purpose. And I know they're all important. Very important, guys. But let's just look at it. Can you go ahead? Go to the next slide. So I believe that today, if you've not even picked anything, you've picked one thing, where the monies are in the university and how the admission process work. If you can't pick anything, just pick those two. Then don't forget, pick these other two I want to talk about. The first thing is, how do you structure the email? Like I said, I receive up to 50 emails from Nigeria, from my department and all the rest. The first thing you want to put in your email is to self-validate yourself. Don't be humble, but don't.
Michael, help us write that down. Self-validation. The 3 things in your email that makes you stand out. Number 1, self-validation.
The message. That's number 1. And number 1, self-validation. You need to tell us what makes you important. Some of you send me email and I say, hello, Professor Charles. My name is. If your name is not important, don't tell me your name. I already see your name from your signature when you sign me out. Why must you tell me your name is this? I don't. In short, if you're doing that, I know that your brain is in tautology. You have a kind of brain that works in repetition. It's already there. I can see it. Move on to what you want to say. But first, become an important figure to me. If you tell me that you just patent a research or something in your open something or open paragraph, I'm going to want to listen. If you talk about research, just good morning, professor. This is it. Go to it. Become important. Assume that figure you want to become. And that is a researcher. You have to become, you have to assume, you have to pretend that that's you. But it's truth. You're not going to lie. You know that. We are researchers. We're just going to do the calculate or something. We're not going to tell anybody that owns a PhD anything that is a lie. You don't do that. So, but you want to, all those important things, accomplishments in life that are research related. I don't mean accomplishment that you publish a Nollywood movie. No. I'm talking about accomplishment, about those projects you did in BSc, in Masters, you publish that are research-based, or where you work in the food industry, those projects you've done, maybe about the nutrification, anything you've done that is research-based, put it there. That is what I want to see. Unless you are Bill Gates, then you tell me, I am Bill Gates. How are you? Don't tell me your name. I don't care about your name. I can see it from, because when you write an email, you will put yours faithfully or regards, Charles Winslow. I can see that. So the first thing is self-validation. Under self-validation, make a paragraph, maybe two statements, 2 sentences at most. In the first one, how important are you? The second one, we're going to show sample. The second thing is what, I actually picked this up. I researched for this. What make you common to me? Did you study food engineering, mechanical engineering? Are you applying mathematics to food process? Then, but you're not going to tell me, oh, I study food science, or I am a food engineer, or I'm a mechanical engineer. It doesn't make, there are a lot of thousands of people that send me an email telling me they study food science. That is common to us, but it's not an uncommon common. You need to cite something that you know a lot of people have not cited that makes me and you relate. Yes. That is my master's professor interested. The uncommon common that makes 2 of us. We will see sample, but you need to think. Is it the way we publish? Is it that we publish in the same article, or we are working on the same minute research together? Or you've done it sometime? You need to state it in your first paragraph. Your first paragraph should be 2, maximum 3. Maximum 3. Seriously, this is research. What I actually pick it up from research paper. I will give you the references. Some psychologists have studied this thing. Why busy people are rejecting email, dumping it in garbage. They say because you are not self-validating. We don't know. You're telling me you are Onyekachi from Munede University. Are you? Be important, guy. And you are important. You just have to take it out. We all have that we are all celebrating. Just pick what gives you your own vibe in research. The second thing, go to the mention.
Can I add a few things? So I want to come in about self-validation. Before you start to self-validate in your second paragraph or your second sentence, if you have 3 sentences, before you write that email, I want you to research about that professor. I want you to go and do a research to understand what in the last 18 months, what is this person's research focusing on? Because you're trying to look for the right keywords that are pertaining and particular to what they're doing right now. So you want to go and read some of their journal papers. You want to download the papers they published last month, 3 months ago, 5 months ago. So you can look at what their research area is, especially if you are dealing with established professors. These professors have been publishing for 20 years. But over the course of 20 years, they have received 10 grants, 15 grants. What grants do they have right now? What research is that grant focusing on? That is what they'll be publishing about right now. So you can't go and read the book they published 15 years ago and be citing that book. They've moved on from that research. They are now doing something more innovative. So I want you to read a couple of papers they have published recently and look at how your work or your experience or your education connects to that research. Extract those exciting keywords from their research paper. Go and Google it. Find a connection between those keywords and your own work experience or your own background. And then you can cite that. Because when you cite those right keywords that are exciting, their eyes will shine.
It will shine.
Now they feel like you get me. This person gets what I'm looking for. I believe a professor is an employer of labor. No employer of labor wants to hire the person that they have to teach everything. They are looking for someone who will come in and hit the ground running in their lab and start to produce quality work. So they need you to be on the same page with them. They need you to have the skill sets they require. They need you to understand what they work on because they're not here to come and be spoon feeding you and be teaching you. They're employer of labor. They have the government or their school to answer to because they have collected funding. They need to publish papers. They need to do innovative work. They need to patent stuff because they have collected funds. And this funding have timeline. The timeline could be 3 years, could be 5 years, could be 1 year if they're working with companies. So they are not even here to just be saying, if they see that you're not going to contribute to their work, you're not getting hired, period. So you need to do that research to be able to self-validate properly and connect yourself to their work. You need to know what they're working on right now, what they have money that they're using right now. So I believe a lot of time people get it wrong because let me tell you, as millennials, as people, our patience of reading stuff is very limited. Attention span of people is very limited. So they scan through emails, they scan through everything. If they are scanning through, if they don't see the right keywords there that connect your work to theirs, it's not gonna work. In my email that I sent to my professor, who became my PhD professor, I literally in my first line explained to him about how the current segmentation work is doing. I have a publication on that, and that's what I did in my thesis. And I put my thesis link right there. I put the publication link right here in my first introductory email.
I will show that.
Background. The guy replied, man, he will not reply. He gave me funding. And I will tell you another thing I attached later. But in my introductory email, I didn't say who I am. I just greeted him and said that I've been a follower of his work. And recently I read his published paper that utilized this and this, which I also utilized in my PhD, in my master's thesis.
It's going to be interesting.
I just put the link to my master's thesis, and I published a conference proceeding on the same topic read here. First opening bagger like that.
There's no way he's going to reject you. There's no way. He will look for, if she doesn't have it, whenever she got a phone, she will start thinking, oh, that girl. Like Ade said, that's very common. They want to publish. We want to publish. We want to publish. It's very common. Very common. You need to eat me. Eat it. The first, remember, the first paragraph, eat it. You are value yourself. I don't want you to look down on yourself. You are much more than you are. It's just that because we grew up in that mentality of Nigeria, you have to be humble. You have to, no, blow your trumpet, please. Blow it. You've read it. You're doing it. You've done it 2 years ago. You're currently doing it. The same research with him. He's going to reply to your message. The second one, can I go ahead, please?
Yes, bro.
The second one is the message. Under your next paragraph, just tell him what you need. You need him to be a professor, advisor. Just tell him. Just tell him. And let me know why you think I should be the one. In that next paragraph, just hit the nail. Or how did they say that one? Hit the nail on the head. Okay, hit the nail on the head in the second paragraph. Very short. Then the last is now opportunity. You want to solve a problem. So if you've read, you've gone through my webpage, everything about my research life, you should know my weakness. If you don't know it, you are not a good researcher. You've not researched very well. And most times, psychologists, sorry, I'm referring to psychology. I'm reading a book currently on psychology. They've linked that our strength, our weakness is very close to our strength. That place we are very talented. That area, very close to it, we have weakness. That's what is research. This is research based. I'm not the one. I'm not quoting it. So you need to look for that professor weakness. The weakness, not in his slide, in his research. You need to find that opportunity that you want to explore. But you're not going to say, oh, I found this weakness. No, that's that. You just want to say, you are doing, I will show you an example that a student sent. He is one of my mentees. He's actually in British Columbia now. You're just going to cite that weakness that you have competency, you have the ability to. You cite it. He's going to also trigger this man to reply. And lastly, you need to incentivize him to reply. You need to ask him, can I call you? Okay, I'm going to call you. Not can I. I'm going to call you next week to follow up on this or to discuss further on these techniques, on these methods. You need to incentivize him. You don't want him to, he's going to reply. Even if that man does not have funding or the woman, they're going to reply you because they don't want your call. You tell them, you can as well ask. You can ask politely, when can I call you? But I don't like that one. I like you to ask. I will follow up with a call next week. Let me tell you, I emailed the #1 researcher in mathematical modeling in the whole world. Google it. His name is Emeritus Professor Paul Singh. I can share the email with you. I emailed him once and he replied. And I follow all these things. He replied my email. I put the email, I showed one of my colleagues. I said, this is Paul Singh. I've been using his book forever. And I said, oh, I want to also get to know the second most important mathematical modeler in the whole world, data action. These guys are in Cornell. One is in Cornell, one is in UC Davis. These are top Ivy School. I emailed the guy, data action. I tried that method. It worked again. He replied, not because I'm so talented, no, but because they got to reply. It works. It's a research.
Well, bro, you're talented. Let's be honest. You have been talented.
Let's go ahead. Opportunity. So you have to incentivize that opportunity for them to reply. You will see. Can we go to the sample? Sorry for your time. I'm so sorry.
We are going to be cut off in 5 minutes. We have 24 questions.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
We'll come back in. We'll come back in. But I want us to answer some of those questions before we come back in.
Okay.
But I want to have something Yeah, to incentivizing and solving problems, opportunities. Another area, another angle that you can come in from when you are talking about opportunities is this. Maybe you have read their research papers. They are using certain technique. You know how to use that technique, or you know a better technique or a different technique that can be used to analyze their data. You can go into a data bank, find a similar data, and use your technique, second technique, and analyze that data. If you have access to the data they publish, download that data, analyze it with another technique, and show it to them. Set it as part of your package or put it on your website. I always say, if you are going to grad school, you need to go and build yourself a small website. So this small website will have your career portfolio. It will have your research portfolio. It will have, if you do such a work for a professor, you will put it on that. You send him a link. So you put a link and say, you read this paper, read this paper that he published recently, titled this. You took the data and you have reanalyzed it using a different technique that you think is also as good. Or
why are you not the professor? You should be in charge.
Because bro, I don't want to be, you people know they pay person. I want to make money, please. I know they come back. I don't do you people will pay me. You know if you pay me, I beg.
That's the problem. We don't pay you.
So I want you to try to let them see that you can actually do better than they are doing by using a different technique or a new technique. Or you can even take the paper they published 2 years ago, use the recent technique and analyze it, and put a link where they can see the results. That will open up their heads and they will see why you should be a candidate to be considered, because you actually know their work and you can add value, because you are now showing a different method that is maybe better than what they are using. In my case, I didn't do that. What I did as my opportunity was I attached a research portfolio. In my research portfolio, I have done some segmentation of brain images, similar to what my professor was working on for knees. So I did for brain, and I put it in the portfolio, and it was part of my email that I sent to him. And I talked about how he should look at my portfolio, and I can apply the same technique to do this for him, based on his current research. When he saw that, he could not reject me as a candidate, because I wasn't only saying, look at my resume. You know, pictures speaks more than 1,000 words, right? So when he was able to see those segmentation work that I did, it was obvious that I knew what I am doing. I know you are in Africa, you are thinking, hey, I don't have all this characterization stuff. There are a lot of softwares that you can download free version. You can download free version of an FEA software, SolidWorks, and do FEA modeling over a 1 month period.
SolidWorks is open source.
So you can download some of these softwares. You can use the free version for a month. Do all of the different nice stuff you need to do that you need to put in your portfolio before the 1 month that is free expires. And there are so many things right now that you can do online for free. There are some partnerships that you can establish. So you have no excuses to not have a solid research portfolio. And I always say to people, a solid research portfolio is better than a research proposal. Because your research proposal, it may focus you too much. You may be talking about something that he's not interested in, and you say that is what you want to do. It's not going to call you. But a research portfolio enables you to demonstrate, these are the skill sets I have. These are the things that I can do. This is how I can help your research. And it doesn't matter what research you give to me, I can use this tool and I will do that research for you. So it opens up multiple opportunities for you to be accepted. So I want to admonish you that under that solve problems and incentivize, you want to have a research portfolio that is dope. We have 1 more minute, bro. This thing will cut. When it cuts,
which I go to now? Which I go?
We will come back.
I will come back.
So, guys, I'm
okay.
sorry that we couldn't answer any of your 20-something questions that you have here. Please, when
we answer it immediately.
When we come back in, please push those questions back in right away, and we will start answering. I hope this 1 hour has been a blessing to you. Please call back right away so that we can continue. Dr. Charles, you are the real deal.
Yeah.
Bro. The real deal any day. Me, your sister, I appreciate you. Hi guys, welcome back. And I'm so sorry that the 1 hour went by so fast, right? So we're back on. We're waiting for Professor Charles to come back on. And please, as soon as you get back here, I want you to start to drop your questions so that we can try to answer them. I'm sorry that we weren't able to answer your question. I want to hear from you. Is this session going well? Do you feel like this is blessing you? Do you feel like you're learning something? I want you to say that. And please start to put your question right away in the question box. I know that myself and Dr. Charles, we're very passionate about this. We can keep talking about how to help you get to Canada and the US because we want you to be here. We both grew up in Mokola, where people thought good things didn't come out from. Look at him, look at me. If we did it, why can't you do it? We believe you can. We believe you have the possibility. You believe you're smart enough. You believe you're good enough. We believe you're awesome. So we get it. So, hey, put in your questions and we will answer these questions in the second hour. Welcome back, Professor.
Yeah, thank you.
And I was telling the people that myself and you, we grew up in Mokola, where people thought things like us, people like us are not supposed to be here. But if we did it, they too can. And that's why we're so passionate about making sure that they get to their next level, because we believe they can. With very little help, we believe, oh, I don't have Canadian accent. I'm Nigerian.
No, the pidgin English I did.
These people don't know. They don't know. I've been Nigerian people know they try. I'm not Canadian in Canadian accent. I always remain Nigerian. So, bro, do you want to keep going?
Okay.
People start to drop your questions.
Okay.
Professor Charles is gonna go again for a few more minutes, and then we'll take your question. Put your questions in the question box. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Go.
So we should be able to answer their question, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Because that's very important. So that's the first thing I want to talk today. The first thing, please. And that thing Dr. Ade mentioned, I've never heard it until recently when she told me. It's about the research portfolio. Please, if you are coming for PhD, these things. She also mentioned very important thing about you publishing your work. Publish some of this work. You don't need to attach everything. You can create a website, a one-page website. It will be surprising for me that you coming for a PhD and you cannot write HTML. Or even if you cannot write HTML, there are a lot of things you can do on GitHub.
Yes.
You can as well you can build one-page website on GitHub. I've done that before. You should be able to do all this. You should have these skills right there. Or use your ResearchGate profile, not Facebook though, unless your Facebook is clean. Though I talk a lot of politics. So if it's clean, but professors actually check up on your Facebook and your Twitter. Watch it. My
Twitter is my Twitter. Professors can come and look. They will like me.
So that is the first thing I want to talk about, your email. Please, going forward from today, if you want to write email, make sure you do it this way. And the next time if we see in US, in Canada, in conference, you should be able to tell me that this is what you use. It has worked. It's research. It's not me. In short, I listed the references. It's research. It's not me. Psychologists research this. Okay, the next slide. Okay, these are now mine. Clear and concise subject line. Don't use like I there, hello there. I'm begging you, I want a post to whatever. But be creative. In short, I've started advising Nigerian students to enroll on a free Coursera course on creative thinking. I found out that a lot of Nigerians, we are not thinking creatively. Creative thinking. We are very critical. I will give it to us. But creative thinking. Create a nice subject line. Use appropriate greeting. Not, hello, Mr. No. Look, if the person is Mr., go for it. If the person is doctor, go for it. If the person is, please. Most time, professors here are those with that full professor designation. You can as well call assistant professor, it's all fine. But difference. You can still call everybody doctor. Short messages like 5 to 6. No, that might not work. I did maybe 10 sentences or 12. Don't go more than 12, please. We don't. The third one is your message. Okay, good. I can't see what. I want to do something for you. Minimize what you are doing. So, what for them to be your PhD advisor. In short, don't mention about money. They want them to be, and then give them opportunity. You can deliver what you can do for them. See, professors are not. They are not God. They don't even know everything. Like me, I don't know a lot of things. If you tell me things about mathematics, computation, yeah, I will say I know a lot. But if you tell me about maybe at this area, 3D printing, I remember there was a day we can actually print food using 3D printing. I don't know. So you need to find in his paper, in his research. Have you even listened to the professor you want to mail? Have you listened to the seminar weakness and minimize what you want them to do? Intensify the opportunity you can give to them. Professor names, don't look for their name very well. People do not attach large price. This is an era of computing. I'm surprised a lot of people are attaching files to professors. A lot of men, and I should tell you secrets. Professors have a limited storage on their email per semester, and they don't like it. They don't want it to full. So that's why they garbage in your email, because you put a lot of large file. Why not develop a website? Why not go through a link to your ResearchGate show media, or your academia, or your Publon, or your those nice research social media, or your LinkedIn? Why not post it on your GitHub, and it's going to click, and that is going to show they put that. They don't want to open your file, so reduce it. Not that you can attach file. Make sure you don't have silly username. I find it difficult to still be a sexy beauty at yahoo.com. What does that mean? Go for your real name. Your real name, Charles Wins at gmail.com. And mostly, if you're already working in a research institution like University of Nigeria, University of Iran, put it. Use that email instead of your normal public email, domain email. Make use of proper English. Yeah, I know. Let people review this email. Your friend, make sure it's very good. The English is there. The next slide, please. Unless you want to add something, so I take my break. Or we can take
I think I always say keep your emails to 2 to 3 paragraphs, maximum 3 paragraphs. So you're trying to do 12 sentences. You need to divide them into 3 paragraphs. 1 paragraph where you are selling yourself. The other one where you're doing pretty much everything Professor Charles told us to do. 3 paragraphs maximum, 2 paragraphs if you can. I also want to mention here that you need to be able to talk about yourself without having to sound apologetic, where you are saying, how are you doing? All of those. You don't want how are you doing in your emails. You are not friends. Why are you asking how they're doing? You don't also want to include any religious related comment, God bless you, all of those overly polite stuff. It makes you look sympathetic. You want to sell yourself that you are bringing value, you are adding value, you are a valuable person. So, make sure that you are not too scared. You don't look scared in your email. So remove excessive greetings, no religious kind of related words. Keep everything very formal. Don't use word like don't use those type of words. Make sure it's all very professional from beginning to the end. Make sure to not lie and to not oversell. Do not lie and do not oversell in your email. Make sure to not do both of those. Bro, you can keep. I will.
Please don't lie. Don't lie. We'll find out. Other thing is in the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah. The next slide, please. The next slide. So we can move on. Okay. In the next slide, it's just a very. These are real. This email, look at it. This guy did not self-validate himself. He delivered a message, yeah. He did not even use the opportunity to create opportunity for the professor. He didn't do it. So this is a failure. This is a failure. He said, let me introduce them. I don't want to know you if you are not Facebook guy. If you are not Bill Gates, I don't want to know you. Don't tell me, let me introduce myself. Or how am I doing? Don't need to know how I'm doing. Please, don't. This guy said, let me introduce myself. And right now, I want to choose a good. Oh my God, this is for they garbage this immediately. Let's go to the next example. These slides to them after.
So, bro, yes, guys,
so?
we're gonna send you the slides. Michael, if you're here, can you help me tweet can you tweet the mailing list? So if you're on here, you're not on the mailing list, please put your name on the mailing list so that you can receive the slides to the program today.
Yeah.
I want to also add something to this email. This person has not done any research. He doesn't even have it streamlined as to what school does he want to go to. He's thinking about, oh, I'm not sure whether I want to go to MIT or I want to go to Stanford. One thing you need to do first is, there are two things I want to mention that you need to do first when you're trying to go to grad school. The first thing is you need to define your vision and your career goals. You need to understand, with my bachelor's of science that I have, what can I use this to do? We talked about this 2 weeks ago for those who are interested. What can I use this to do? And please don't drop your email. You need to put it in the mailing list. I'm not going to be able to see it once we end this live. I'm not going to see your email. Michael is going to put the mailing list on Twitter, and also I'm going to attach it to my story so you guys can put it in there, because if you put it in here, it's going to go away once we end the video. So don't worry. So like I was saying, you need to define your vision first. 1 degree that you have, you can use it to do over 50 different types of research. You can use it to go in different types of career paths. So you need to already understand that you can't be sending an email to a professor saying, I have a degree in mechanical engineering. I don't know whether I should do design, or I should do 3D printing, or I should do material science. No, that is not the professor's job. It is your own job to already define what your career vision and goal are. Then the second thing you need to do is you need to identify what schools have programs related to what I have chosen. So you need to find those schools already. You need to identify a couple of schools where you know these are the schools that, based on the career goals and the vision I chose, these are the schools that can provide that. These schools have those programs that can offer me an opportunity to achieve my goals. You cannot go to a professor asking him that you are thinking about A or B. That is not his job. These are the fundamentals that you need to have done before you even start to look for a professor. If I was a professor and I saw that in your email, you are cancelled. You are cancelled. So you need those two already done. Identify, know your career goals, know which areas you want to focus on, and then identify the schools that can give you that. And then you identify the school, you identify the department, and then you identify the professors that you can work with to achieve your career goals. Now you want to go and write to those professors. You are not at a confused level. Because if you come and tell me I don't know what school to go to, I already believe you don't even know your career goal. I feel like you just stumbled on me. You just stumbled on me. It's not like you did a research that led you to me. So we're not connected. I'm not going to reply if that's the kind of email you sent. Thank you. Okay, I should go to the next one?
Thank
Bro,
you
I
very
can't hear you.
much. That's a wonderful one. Can I?
Yes.
Yes, you've sent this to them, so they can see that this is also wrong. The next guy just say my name. I've told you, don't tell me your name. I can see it from your email, from your signature. I can see your name. His name. It shows how to tell me your name. And what we've learned today, I don't know.
Yes, we
can you see me? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. So please, look, this guy, the way he's strong, he's an international. That's even a no-no. Nigeria, you know how negative we are. People see us. Nigeria there. They will get to know, but you don't need to. They find it. This is not it. Go to the next one. To the next one, please.
You are so pissed with the email.
Yeah. The next one. Next one now. Oh, good.
Yes.
This guy, look at this guy. This is a Nigerian guy. This is a. And he got it. He said, I am a first-class graduate of computer science. Last year, I published a paper titled Susvid. And he put his ResearchGate link and your own work. You need to go through this and understand how to structure email. The only thing I have against this, maybe you can help me take the phone number away. When you say,
yeah, I can do that.
People.
Yes, I can do that.
Hello? Okay, good. And that's all. He has a website, a one-page website. Why do it, please? Don't just hear this thing. Do. If you don't do, you will not do it. It will not happen. So this is a very good email, the last one.
So I want to
if you want to chip in something, then we go to the second.
This is very similar to how I structured my email
that
that scholarship, because I put there that this is what I recently published, and I put a link, and I spoke about how that I have not only published it, it was at a conference as a conference proceeding and won something. I put a link, and then I talked about how my work is related to his work, and this is exactly what this guy did. And then after I spoke about that, then I spoke about how you can look at my portfolio to see examples of work that I have done that I think can have tremendous impact in this area. So this is if I see this email and I'm a professor, and I click on that ResearchGate and I look at his work and it looks similar to my work, I'm going to be replying to this student. This student is very innovative. He don't have a website. I'm going to believe that this will be somebody that I don't have to coach. A professor is not looking for somebody they will coach. They are not looking for someone they will be teaching you what to do. They are looking for someone who is going to come and add something to their work. Somebody is going to help them move faster and move to the next level. So they need you to show that you are innovative. They need you to show writing samples that shows how you write. You are an African. One, they already see your name. They already know you have an accent. They already feel like research in Africa is slow. They already feel like African schools are not good. The only way to be able to change that is to show this type of writing samples, is to show that you are a good student, a first-class student. Those are the things that will make them change their mentality about you as an African, because your name already sold you out, that they should not read it. How do you want to transform it into positivity? You need to always remember, there is importance when people are choosing students. A lot of professors want diversity in their lab, but they don't want diversity from the bottom. They don't want to bring you from Africa and they have to teach you everything. They want the best of Africa in their lab. So you need to be presenting yourself as, I am the best of Africa. I am one of the 1% in Africa who are innovative. And use your email to sell yourself to show that. So don't attach too many things. So in my like Professor Charles has advised, build a one-pager website, put your transcript there, put your portfolio there, Everything you need, put it in that one pager, and let him or her
free.
go and click
All
on that.
for these kind of websites are free. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay, next.
Frozen. I don't know why.
I can hear you still. I can hear you, bro. Oh, no, I
Hello?
can't hear you, but I can see you. Hello, I can hear you now.
What's wrong, boss? I want you to learn today. Do you want to go to questions?
Yes,
Yeah,
let's take some questions. I'm gonna be projecting
Yeah, I
them.
think so. I don't go to SOP, it's all fine.
I wanted to gain more research experience. So I'm putting one up. I wanted to gain more research experience to improve my portfolio, but due to COVID, I couldn't do a lab-based thesis for my project, but I am doing a little. I don't see the remaining
Yeah, I
part
can see it too.
So well, I don't know how to answer this because we didn't see the rest of your question. So let me find another question in the question box.
No.
Somebody's asking, how does work experience count in applying for scholarships?
What kind of work? It depends. If you don't want to say, if you're working in the bank, unless you're doing research that has to do with maybe people's data, I don't know. Like whatever work experience you have, those projects, like I did, worked on a lot of projects. Like that kind of project, that kind of work is what you should put in. You don't want to put in that you work in bank, you work, no. Project, research-based projects, you can put it in as an experience, it's fine.
I can add this to that. So if there are two things that can help you when you're trying to get to grad school. Is either there is a connection with your bachelor's or there's a connection with your work experience. If your work experience is the trigger for that program, so maybe you are getting a work experience in the bank and you're doing a lot of work on data. Now you want to go and do a master's degree in data analytics. So that's a relevant work experience. Because that work experience exposed you to data management and data analysis, and now you want to further, and you can show some of the things you have done while getting that experience, and that is a good connection. If you don't have such a connected experience, let's say you study geology, but you have been working in the bank, when you want to write something for you, you have to be referring back to the project you do in your geology, or some of the things that we don't do today that I want to also start to do myself, that I want to encourage you to do. So if you're a professional, you are working in the industry, but you have not been doing research. Do you know that you can partner with someone and you can actually still publish? You can still write research papers. You can still write research papers, even if it's not particularly related to what they're paying you for. So you can still partner with a university professor. You can still partner with students, and you can still be publishing. So this is a possibility if your experience is way different than what you think your career path should be, but maybe because you don't have opportunities. You can still publish something by partnering with some students who are in school or some researchers who are doing some work. You advise them, you help them with something, they put your name in their paper, which will help you during your application. So think about properly, is your work experience relevant? If it's relevant to what you want to apply for, then add it. If it's not, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Somebody's asking, can we get the slides? Yes. You need to, they're going to tweet the mailing list. Please make sure your name is on the mailing list, because that's the only way you get the slides. How easy is, okay, somebody's asking, how easy is it to get scholarship for health-related courses?
Yeah, I'm currently working with someone that she's a nurse back home. We're still working, but there are research. We have a lot of researches going on in US as well in Canada that are medical researches. So it's also very easy. You just follow the process.
Bro, I want to comment and I want to scold this person. This is one of the things. This is a mistake. You are too vague in your ask. You could have been specific that I'm looking for scholarships in nursing, or as a medical doctor, I'm looking for scholarship, or I'm working in public health, I'm looking for scholarship. You are not specific. If you have to be specific in your ask, because this is the only way you will actually get good responses back. Normally, when I see this type of email or messages, I just move over them because I cannot help you because you're not specific. I want to encourage you to ask specific questions. Great. Be specific. Yes. Say what field. Because if you generalize, your answers are not going to be right, to be honest.
They will be generalized. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And we are here to help you.
Yeah, I think her name is she's graced. Graced, so you should change that. Be more specific. I agree with Ade.
So another question, what do you do when you don't have a research publication? I want to apply for PhD in the US.
Answer this, because you already said something.
So if you don't have a research publication, there are a couple of things you can do. I talked about a research portfolio. So a research portfolio, you don't have a
maybe this person just joined us.
Yes, maybe you just joined, you can rewatch it. So you can put together a good portfolio and put it on a website so that it's not too large to attach to an email. And the professor can see that. And there are other writing samples that you can also generate. Like I talked about, even after you have written your bachelor's project, you can still publish it a year later. If it's a work that you did yourself and you think is innovative, you can still go and bring it out and publish it and send it to a journal. It may not be a high impact journal, but it's going to be published. What a professor is usually looking for, there are two things they're looking for. They are looking for how do your work connect to their work, and they are looking for a writing sample to be sure that you can write proper English and they don't have to be correcting your English up and down. So you can still publish, but if you don't have a publication, show your skill sets in a research portfolio. It will give you a chance. The third thing you can use is references. Get reference letters from strong professors who are known. So for example, I'm known in additive manufacturing. People know me around the world as, oh, they are the queen of the African additive manufacturing specialist. They're writing a book, they want conferences, they say, yeah, go and call her. Let her be a part of it. So if you're going to additive manufacturing, you have somebody like me write you a reference. You have somebody, if you're going to full science, you need the right references. References sometimes speaks volume. When those professors who knows us, when they see those references and they see that I'm endorsing somebody and I write all these fancy things about the person, it's believable. So if you don't have a publication, use career portfolio, research portfolio and a reference and put your transcript. If you have good grades and in your transcripts, maybe you've taken courses that are related to what you're trying to apply to, that these professors can see that, okay, if you take these courses, you should be able to do this type of research. You want that transcript to be a part of your application because it's going to help that professor make that decision. So research publication is not the only thing you need. You need to be able to prove that without that publication, I can still be a good candidate. So those three things: references, if you can get a research portfolio done, and lastly, attach your transcript so they can see the courses you've taken. Bro, you wanted me to take that. I hope I answered well. Any other additions?
I agree totally with you.
Okay, somebody's asking.
You did it very well because you said it already.
So the person said, what advice do you have for someone who has been out of school environment for a while?
Yeah, you should get a professor. If you've done a lot of research before, like researches when you are doing your master's or your bachelor, you can do all these things we're talking about. Approach a professor. You have chance there. If a professor, they don't care. I saw someone asking if I'm 36, can I apply? Yeah, you can still do your PhD. I don't care. In short, if you are 50, when I was doing my PhD, there was a guy working on 72. An elderly Caucasian man was working in my research lab, 72 years, and he was working to develop a sensor, a no-sensing machine that can sense smelling. He did. So it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter if you've been out of school for long. Approach a professor. Try to package your application very well. Approach a professor. That will help you in the long run. Yes, it will help you in the long run.
I want to add something if possible here. What I want to add is, if you have been out of school for a while and you're applying for a job, what do? You need to justify what you have been doing. By
That's another one.
justifying,
Yeah.
have you been working, or were you on maternity leave? Were you sick? When you already establish a connection with a professor, then it's easy. Don't start your email by doing that. Just put all the things we said you should put. When you already caught the attention of the professor, you are now talking
Then
about the admission
get
process.
to know.
Then you can justify by explaining that during that time I was working. I've worked for 10 years and I feel like it's time to go back to school because I think I need to learn innovative stuff to be able to do better. Or, oh, I was on maternity leave, or I was sick. But it's not the first thing you need to do. Get to a point where you, right now, don't even think about the school environment or not. Go and start to do the process we talk about. When you get to that point, provide justification, and I think you'll be fine.
And I will just say something. Everything we're saying today, work, please. A lot of my mentee here, they can signify and let you know too.
Somebody said that
if
you have a low GRE score of 291, is it okay to put it inside or leave it blank since it is low?
I know what the person is asking. Different. Even a lot of schools are scrapping out GRE. You can put it if you want, but since this is very low, 291. When I did GRE 10 years ago, we are using 800. We don't use stuff like this. But this is low. It don't require you to put GRE. Just omit it. Omit it. Unless if they require it, you can put it. But it's very low. You can omit it. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I would say. But just know that GRE will not determine, like it does not determine anymore. We are in 21st century. And there's a lot of papers they've researched. Score in GRE doesn't mean you will do very well in research. Remember, this is research you want to do. So the professors, we all know that you having high score in GRE doesn't translate to research. To you having a great competency in research. So it does, unless you want to add
another question.
Let's go to what is
what I want to say to that is, anything that will make you look incompetent, don't add it if it's not required. Just take it out. Anything that will make you not look competent, take it out. What is the acceptance rate of master's or PhD scholarships in the field of computer engineering and AI? Let me answer that. What I want to answer here is what I want to answer here is, this is university dependent and this is country dependent. This is why I told you that you need to understand, okay, what school have you chosen? What is the career path you have chosen? What school have you chosen? Because each school have funding than the other. Some schools have a lot of funding, some schools have less funding. So we cannot grade that this is the acceptance rate. And depending on the professors you have in your schools, the professors bring funding to the school, right? They are the ones who compete for a lot of funding. So if a school has more competitive professors, they will get more funding over some other schools. So this is definitely university dependent. I want you to go and narrow down to the school that you want, because it's school dependent. And if you have not narrowed down, you are looking for somebody to tell you a number about this, that is a mistake.
There's no way we can
go and make a choice as to what school do you want to choose, and now what department, and now start to look at the professors that are there. Every school have their funding strategy. Professor Charles have explained a lot of those different funding strategies, and it ranges from school to school. So this is relative. So we're taking the questions we have taken. They are from the question box, because this is the only place we can take questions. We'll answer one more question, and Professor Charles will talk about statements of purpose.
Yeah, I'll be very fast on that.
Okay. So here's another one. I'm a lecturer and pharmacist, a hands-on researcher. I undertake practical sessions for my undergraduates. What are you trying to? So what are you trying to ask?
No question asked. But maybe he's just trying, he or she, I don't know who the person is. Maybe you can put it as experience, like hands-on lab experience, because we also want to see if you can teach. So it's not in your email. You can put it in your SOP that you do that, you know, just like a teaching hands-on experiment.
Yes.
You did not ask a question, so we don't know.
This is for you, Prof.
Can we get a reference letter from?
Yes, from a different school other than your own school.
Yes, you can do that. Yeah, the reference letter, a lot of people are making mistakes, and today we're not talking about reference letter. Reference letter is actually number one pointer. Yes, my student was able to get 88 million because of reference letter. Your reference letter, you should charge the professor. They should not add irrelevant. They should not start telling me that you make A in biomechanics, or that you did this, you did that. No, it's someone that you form a partner with. Research, you've done research with the person. That person knows your competency in research, and they're going to cite research ability. So let it be research dense. They should not cite and they should not write unnecessary things. So if that person is in ABU and you are in University of Lagos, you can approach the person using the person know about your skills in research, and that's what your reference letter should be. And in most cases, tell the professor to write you 2 pages of reference letter. I just wrote 2 pages for a friend of mine. I used to write 2 pages. Yeah, tell that person to write 2 pages. Some will don't want to. Look for another professor. The lengthy the reference letter, the better for you. I'm not saying they should not put some things about like you leading a community in the university, but they should intensify on your research competency. And I'm seriously saying that they should intensify on that. Yeah, that's so you can get reference letter from anywhere, anywhere.
Okay, Prof, I'm going to project your SOP slide. We're moving on.
Okay, yeah, SOP. In SOP, so I believe you, up to now, you understand what makes email very important, because you want to form a connection with a professor, and you know how to do it now. The second thing we're going to be looking at here is SOP. A lot of people ask me question, what should be my SOP? What should I write? One thing you should not write, and stop it, Nigerian students. Stop it, especially you coming for PhD. Start telling me that I decided to pursue this course because I have passion for it. Immediately you mention the word passion, I know you don't even have passion for it. Stop all those things. Stop that I grew up. I don't want to know how you grew up. He's not interested to me as a professor. And I know he's not interested to many of my colleagues. We don't want to know how you grew up. We don't want to know that your dad was a food scientist and it's just a family thing. I don't want to know about that. I want to know what you've been able to do in the last, maybe in the last 3 years. At least avoid anything that you did not do during university days. Avoid how you got into mechanical engineering. How you decide that for you, you should be a mechanical because you love physics in high school. Forget that. Your SOP should be research-based, research-intensive. Everything on your SOP should be about research and projects you've completed. Anything else is irrelevant. You telling me your name is irrelevant. You mentioning that, oh, I saw Nigerian putting a statement of purpose is irrelevant. I know you are not skillful. I know you are not intelligent. Immediately you put statement of purpose. I know, I'm not dumb. I know it's statement of purpose. You don't need to tell me those things. You don't need to tell me who you are, where you're coming from. Rather, I will see the research you've done, the experiences you've been able to achieve. So the first thing you should include on your research, the first line should be your research competency. What I mean by your research competency is that what do you want to achieve from the research you will be doing with the university? That's the first thing you need to include. And put it in your statement of purpose. You want to go ahead to PhD. The first paragraph, I'm serious. Don't tell me that we don't want to hear about it. We want to hear what you want in the first paragraph. The first people that review your SOP are the faculty officers in the Faculty of Grad Study. Then they will package it and send it to the departmental admission officer. The departmental admission officer is going to distribute your SOP. I just got one. Distribute your SOP to professors in the admission committee. Professors. That's how it goes.
Bro, I want to come in. Bro, I want to come
Okay.
in. You have to put your questions in the question box if you have questions. If you put questions out here, we're not going to take it because it's hard to read those questions. They're very small. So please put your questions in the question box. Bro, I want to add something.
Yes,
to
please go ahead.
how you
Get my
how you
charger,
presented. Okay.
I need to get my charger, my laptop charger.
You can go on. So I want to add something here about talking about Nigeria, Africa, in your SOP. So what I have seen often is people write their SOP and their passion why they want to go to grad school is because they want to change Africa. They want to change the world. First of all, you need to realize that if you want to change Africa, you need to stay in Africa. You need to stay in Africa to change Africa. So if you're telling us that you want to come abroad and you want to do African research, you are doing this because you want to make Africa better. The funding that these people have is not African specific.
Not for Africa.
It's for a particular country or a particular company. So you need to make sure that your SOP is not presenting you like somebody who is just Africa, everything Africa. I want to change Africa. I want to do this. No. You want to do research because you're a researcher. A researcher can work anywhere. And you want to be innovative because if all you want to change is Africa, Africa is many years backwards in terms of technology. Yeah. So if you are trying to learn a technology to help Africa, they've done it 20 years ago.
I agree with you.
So
it's not the boundary
of research that we are doing right now.
They are the boundary.
Yes. They are
not African focused or eccentric.
They are not African focused because Africa is way backward. So you cannot be using Africa as your reference point for an innovative research because we are a little backward. I'm sorry as an African to be saying this, but this is the truth. So you need to put yourself on a level ground.
Is the truth.
Yes, put yourself on a level ground. You are learning about industry 4.0 technologies. You need to talk about that. You stop talking about Africa. Africa has not started industry 4.0. They're still at 3.0. So you need to put yourself on the same level ground with a Chinese person, with an Indian who they are already doing all this robotics and everything innovative. If you are still thinking Africa, your SOP is not going to sound like theirs, and nobody's going to pick you because you are African.
They will not. They will not.
Please make sure your SOP is communicating an innovative idea that shows that you are coming here to work on an innovative research, to move the world of research forward, to contribute to a research topic, to help build the body of knowledge for the world, not for Africa. But you are doing it as an African. But you want to help contribute to the body of knowledge that the world is building. But it's sad, but Africa is still many years backward when we're talking about the world. So we need to step into the realm of a little further out there, do innovative work, because if your SOP is just so African, I'm sorry, it's not gonna flow.
Oh yeah, I am sorry too.
How easy is okay? Somebody's asking, how easy is it to get scholarship for health-related courses?
Yeah, I'm currently working with someone that she's a nurse back home. We're still working, but we have a lot of researches going on in US as well in Canada that are medical researches. So it's also very easy. You just follow the process.
Bro, I want to comment and I want to scold this person. This is one of the things. This is a mistake. You are too vague in your ask. You could have been specific that I'm looking for scholarships in nursing, or as a medical doctor, I'm looking for scholarship, or I'm working in public health, I'm looking for scholarship. You are not specific. If you have to be specific in your ask, because this is the only way you will actually get good responses back. Normally, when I see this type of email or messages, I just move over them because I cannot help you because you're not specific. I want to encourage you to ask specific questions. Be specific. Say what field. Because if you generalize, your answers are not going to be right, to be honest.
They will be generalized.
Yes. And we are here to help you.
I think her name is she's Graced. So you should change that. Be more specific. I agree with Ade.
So another question: what do you do when you don't have a research publication? I want to apply for PhD in the US.
Answer this because you already said something.
So if you don't have a research publication, there are a couple of things you can do. I talked about a research portfolio. So a research portfolio. You don't have a
maybe this person just joined us.
Yes, maybe you just joined, you can rewatch it. So you can put together a good portfolio and put it on a website so that it's not too large to attach to an email. And the professor can see that. And there are other writing samples that you can also generate. Like I talked about, even after you have written your bachelor's project, you can still publish it a year later. If it's a work that you did yourself and you think is innovative, you can still go and bring it out and publish it and send it to a journal. It may not be a high impact journal, but it's going to be published. What a professor is usually looking for, there are two things they're looking for. They're looking for how do your work connect to their work, and they're looking for a writing sample to be sure that you can write proper English and they don't have to be correcting your English up and down. So you can still publish, but if you don't have a publication, show your skill sets in a research portfolio. It will give you a chance. The third thing you can use is references. Get reference letters from strong professors who are known. So for example, I'm known in additive manufacturing. People know me around the world as, the queen of the African additive manufacturing specialist. They're writing a book, they want conferences, they say, go and call her. Let her be a part of it. So if you're going to additive manufacturing, you have somebody like me write you a reference. You have somebody, if you're going to full science, you need the right references. References sometimes speaks volume. When those professors who knows us, when they see those references and they see that I'm endorsing somebody and I wrote all these fancy things about the person, it's believable. So if you don't have a publication, use career portfolio, research portfolio and a reference and put your transcript. If you have good grades and in your transcripts, maybe you've taken courses that are related to what you're trying to apply to, that these professors can see that, okay, if you take these courses, you should be able to do this type of research. You want that transcript to be a part of your application because it's going to help that professor make that decision. So research publication is not the only thing you need. You need to be able to prove that without that publication, I can still be a good candidate. So those three things: references, if you can get a research portfolio done, and lastly, attach your transcript so they can see the courses you've taken. Bro, you wanted me to take that. I hope I answered well. Any other additions?
I agree totally with you.
Okay, somebody's asking.
You did it very well, but you said it already.
So the person said, what advice do you have for someone who has been out of school environment for a while?
You should get a professor. If you've done a lot of research before, like researches when you are doing your master's or your bachelor, you can do all these things we're talking about. Approach a professor. You have chance there. If a professor, they don't care. I saw someone asking if I'm 36, can I apply? Yeah, you can still do your PhD. I don't care. In short, if you are 50, when I was doing my PhD, there was a guy working on 72. An elderly Caucasian man was working in my research lab, 72 years, and he was working to develop a sensor, a no-sensing machine that can sense smelling. He did. So it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter if you've been out of school for long. Approach a professor. Try to package your application very well. Approach a professor. That will help you in the long run. Yes, it will help you in the long run.
I want to add something if possible here. What I want to add is, if you have been out of school for a while and you're applying for a job, what do? You need to justify what you have been doing. By
That's another one.
justifying,
Yeah.
have you been working, or were you on maternity leave? Were you sick? When you talk, when you already establish a connection with a professor, then it's easy. Don't start your email by doing that. Just put all the
Yeah.
things we said you should put. When you already
Yeah.
caught the attention of the professor, you are now talking
Then
about the
you
admission
will get to
process.
know.
Then you can
Yeah.
justify by explaining that during that time I was working. I've worked for 10 years and I feel like it's time to go back to school because I think
Yeah.
I need to learn innovative stuff to be able to do better. Or, oh, I was on maternity leave, or I was sick. But it's not the first thing you need to do.
Yeah.
Get to a point where you, right now, don't even think about the school environment or not. Go and start to do the process we talk about. When you get to that point, provide justification, and I think you'll be fine.
And I will just say something. Everything we're saying today, work, please. A lot of my mentee here, they can signify and let you know too.
Somebody
point, right?
said that if you have a low GRE score of 291, is it okay to put it inside or leave it blank since it is low?
I know what the person is asking. Different. Even a lot of schools are scrapping out GRE. You can put it if you want, but since this is very low, 291. When I did GRE 10 years ago, we are using 800. We don't use stuff like this. But this is low. It don't require you to put GRE. Just omit it. Omit it. Unless if they require it, you can put it. But it's very low. You can omit it. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I would say. But just know that GRE will not determine, like it does not determine anymore. We are in 21st century. And there's a lot of papers they've researched. Score in GRE doesn't mean you will do very well in research. Remember, this is research you want to do. So the professors, we all know that you having high score in GRE doesn't translate to research. To you having a great competency in research. So it does, yeah. Unless you want to add
another
something,
question
then just
here.
Let's go to what is
what I want to say to that is, anything that will make you look incompetent, don't add it if it's not required. If it's GRE, just take it out. Anything that will make you not look competent, take it out. What is the acceptance rate of master's or PhD scholarships in the field of computer engineering and AI? Let me answer that. What I want to answer here is what I want to answer here is, this is university dependent and this is country dependent. This is why I told you that you need to understand, okay, what school have you chosen? What is the career path you have chosen? What school have you chosen? Because each school have funding than the other. Some schools have a lot of funding, some schools have less funding. So we cannot grade that this is the acceptance rate. And depending on the professors you have in your schools, the professors bring funding to the school, right? They are the ones who compete for a lot of funding. So if a school has more competitive professors, they will get more funding over some other schools. So this is definitely university dependent. I want you to go and narrow down to the school that you want, because it's school dependent. And if you have not narrowed down, you are looking for somebody to tell you a number about this. That is a mistake.
There's no way we can
go and make a choice as to what school do you want to choose, and now what department, and now start to look at the professors that are there. Every school have their funding strategy. Professor Charles have explained a lot of those different funding strategies, and it ranges from school to school. So this is relative.
Yeah.
So we're taking the questions we have taken. They are from the question box, because this is the only place we can take questions. We'll answer one more question, and Professor Charles will talk about statement of purpose.
Yeah, I'll be very fast on that.
Okay. So here's another one. I'm a lecturer and pharmacist, a hands-on researcher. I undertake practical sessions for my undergraduates. What are you trying to ask?
No question asked. But maybe he's just trying, he or she, I don't know who the person is. Maybe you can put it as experience, like hands-on lab experience, because we also want to see if you can teach. So it's not in your email. You can put it in your SOP that you do that, just like a teaching hands-on experiment.
Yes.
You did not ask a question, so we don't know.
This is for you, Prof.
Can you get a reference letter from?
Yes, from a different school other than your own school.
Yes, you can do that. Yeah, the reference letter, a lot of people are making mistakes, and today we're not talking about reference letter. Reference letter is actually number one pointer. Yes, my student was able to get 88 million because of reference letter. Your reference letter, you should charge the professor. They should not add irrelevant. They should not start telling me that you make A in biomechanics, or that you did this, you did that. No, it's someone that you form a partner with. Research, you've done research with the person. That person knows your competency in research, and they're going to cite research ability. So let it be research dense. They should not cite and they should not write unnecessary things. So if that person is in ABU and you are in University of Lagos, you can approach the person. The person know about your skills in research, and that's what your reference letter should be. And in most cases, tell the professor to write you 2 pages of reference letter. I just wrote 2 pages for a friend of mine. I used to write 2 pages. Yeah, tell that person to write 2 pages. Some will don't want to. Look for another professor. The lengthy the reference letter, the better for you. I'm not saying they should not put some things about like you leading a community in the university, but they should intensify on your research competency. And I'm seriously saying that they should intensify on that. Yeah, that's so you can get reference letter from anywhere, anywhere.
Okay, Prof, I'm going to project your SOP slide. We're moving on.
Okay, yeah, SOP. In SOP, so I believe you, up to now, you understand what makes email very important, because you want to form a connection with a professor, and you know how to do it now. The second thing we're going to be looking at here is SOP. A lot of people ask me question, what should be my SOP? What should I write? One thing you should not write, and stop it, Nigerian students. Stop it, especially you coming for PhD. Start telling me that I decided to pursue this course because I have passion for it. Immediately you mention the word passion. I know you don't even have passion for it. Stop all those things. Stop that. I grew up. I don't want to know how you grew up. He's not interested to me as a professor. And I know he's not interested to many of my colleagues. We don't want to know how you grew up. We don't want to know that your dad was a food scientist and it's just a family thing. I don't want to know about that. I want to know what you've been able to do in the last, maybe in the last 3 years. At least avoid anything that you did not do during university days. Avoid how you got into mechanical engineering. How you decide that for you, you should be a mechanical because you love physics in high school. Forget that. Your SOP should be research-based, research intensive. Everything on your SOP should be about research and projects you've completed. Anything else is irrelevant. You telling me your name is irrelevant. You mentioning that, oh, I saw Nigerian putting a statement of purpose is irrelevant. I know you are not skillful. I know you are not intelligent. Immediately you put statement of purpose. I know, I'm not dumb. I know it's statement of purpose. You don't need to tell me those things. You don't need to tell me who you are, where you're coming from. Rather, I will see the research you've done, the experiences you've been able to achieve. So the first thing you should include on your research, the first line should be your research competency. What I mean by your research competency is that what do you want to achieve from the research you will be doing with the university? That's the first thing you need to include. And put it in your statement of purpose. You want to go ahead to PhD. The first paragraph, I'm serious. Don't tell me that we don't want to hear about it. We want to hear what you want in the first paragraph. The first people that review your SOP are the faculty officers in the Faculty of Grad Study. Then they will package it and send it to the departmental admission officer. The departmental admission officer is going to distribute your SOP. I just got one. Distribute your SOP to professors in the admission committee. Professors. That's how it goes.
Bro, I want to come in. Bro, I want to come
Okay.
in. You have to put your questions in the question box if you have questions. If you put questions out here, we're not going to take it because it's hard to read those questions. They're very small. So please put your questions in the question box. Bro, I want to add something.
Yes, please go ahead.
How you presented. Okay.
I need to get my charger, my laptop charger.
You can go on. So I want to add something here about talking about Nigeria, Africa, in your SOP. So what I have seen often is people write their SOP and their passion why they want to go to grad school is because they want to change Africa. They want to change the world. First of all, you need to realize that if you want to change Africa, you need to stay in Africa. You need to stay in Africa to change Africa. So if you're telling us that you want to come abroad and you want to do African research, you are doing this because you want to make Africa better. The funding that these people have is not African specific.
Not for Africa.
It's for a particular country or a particular company. So you need to make sure that your SOP is not presenting you like somebody who is just Africa, everything Africa. I want to change Africa. I want to do this. No. You want to do research because you're a researcher. A researcher can work anywhere. And you want to be innovative because if all you want to change is Africa, Africa is many years backwards in terms of technology. Yeah. So if you are trying to learn a technology to help Africa, they've done it 20 years ago.
I agree with you.
So
it's not the boundary of knowledge
that we are doing right now.
They are the boundary.
Yes. They are
not African focused or eccentric.
They are not African focused because Africa is way backward. So you cannot be using Africa as your reference point for an innovative research because we are a little backward. I'm sorry as an African to be saying this, but this is the truth. So you need to put yourself on a level ground.
Is the truth.
Yes, put yourself on a level ground. You are learning about Industry 4.0 technologies. You need to talk about that. You stop talking about Africa. Africa has not started Industry 4.0. They're still at 3.0. So you need to put yourself on the same level ground with a Chinese person, with an Indian who they are already doing all this robotics and everything innovative. If you are still thinking Africa, your SOP is not going to sound like theirs, and nobody's going to pick you because you are African.
They will not. They will not.
Please make sure your SOP is communicating an innovative idea that shows that you are coming here to work on an innovative research, to move the world of research forward, to contribute to a research topic, to help build the body of knowledge for the world, not for Africa. But you are doing it as an African. But you want to help contribute to the body of knowledge that the world is building. But it's sad, but Africa is still many years backward when we're talking about the world. So we need to step into the realm of a little further out there, do innovative work, because if your SOP is just so African, I'm sorry, it's not gonna flow.
Oh yeah, I am sorry too, because I'm sorry to say Africa is way backward. We know we can still do research there, but the research are not at the boundary of innovation, at the interface of knowledge nowadays. They're still far behind. Diola said 3.0. Someone mentioned 2.0. I mentioned 1.0. Yes, we are still at Industry 1.0. Do you know Nasarawa State, they're still using oil and cutlass to farm? It's 1.0 for Christ's sake. So you don't want to come and tell you're going to 45, do something in that. No, be innovative. Like I said, can I go back, please?
Yes.
Ade? Okay. So the first thing you want to say is what you are getting from the university. Please forget talking about where you grew up from, how you develop passion to study food science. I don't care. Seriously, I don't care. That your father was a farmer and you have this interest to help children or to feed people. I don't care. The only thing I care about is that you will come and do research and we publish paper. Because I want to be tenured. That's all I care about. In short, my wife always say, why do you always, I say, I just think about paper now. I don't think about anything else. And I know how the professors think too.
I know.
That's how they think. They don't care how you form your passion to study. No. So the first statement, we're going to see some sample. Tell me what you want to come and do. The SOP, in your SOP that the admission officer will review, tell them you want to come and pursue PhD. Why? State the reason. That is where you define your purpose. It is a statement. I want PhD because I want to become a professor. There is nothing else. Yes, you can go into an industry and make a lot of millions like I did.
Oh.
But you don't want to say that to a professor. You don't want to say that to a professor. I'm telling you, I'm not saying you should lie, but what I'm telling you to do is the right thing. That is the gold standard. The first statement, your paragraph is, I don't know how you form it, develop a paragraph, but in that paragraph, explain to me that you want a PhD because you want to do research. You want to further research. And like Ade said, it's not to further research of agriculture, how to start using tractor. No, we are not using tractor again. We are using robots. I'm not going to pick you. I'll pick this guy that wants to come and learn how to use robots. You get it? So this is your first paragraph. Your first paragraph should show that. It should talk about what the purpose. Remember, it is statement of purpose. Go figure it out. I don't know how you will do that. But figure out, I will show you some samples. But figure out what your purpose is. And in the first paragraph, states the purpose. Don't do anything. Don't tell me your age. Don't tell me don't tell me anything. Your religion. I don't want to, I'm not interested. Your purpose. Now we go to this second paragraph or other paragraph. Your subsequent paragraph should be about you. And the only thing about your skills, about your experiences, about your successes, your background, your life stories. Yes, put your life story, but all the story you're going to put is about you as a researcher. You are nothing but a researcher. That is all you have from today. So when you go back to form the subsequent paragraphs, you want to decide the research you've been able to complete it. How did you do it? Why did you do the research? What is the outcome of the research? Were you able to develop some software tools? Were you able to develop some techniques, new mathematical techniques, or new experimental techniques? Or did you even fail? Let me know the challenges you passed through in that research. Did you fail? What is the output of that research? Did you get to write some paper, publish some paper? Did you attend conferences to present the output, even the failure? I once presented a failure in a conference. Oh yeah. So that is the subsequent. So if you have the paragraph is the purpose. The second two, second, three, third, fourth, five, fifth, everything should be about your research. You take one research, you explain three things. These three things I want you to in your research in the second paragraph is what did you do? What did you do? What did you do it with? The collaboration you did. Or were you just an independent researcher? What is the outcome? How did you do it? Why did you even go away? What are the challenges? State everything. And if there is an output, you have a paper output, give me a link of that paper in that. Even for masters, someone is asking, it's too much for master. Yes, research master, go do it. And you will get a call from the admission people. The problem you guys have, why you are writing where you grew up, is because you went online and you are stealing templates. You are just doing plagiarism. You go online.
It's not even just that, bro. If you are copying, well, we wanted to teach you something that'll make you stand out. We don't want you to fit in. We want you to stand out. If you were copying the template of where you grew up, how everything was bad there, or how someone inspired you, that's what everybody does. Why should they pick you? So how can you make your own application stand out? Is by using a different tactic that will make them see that you're different and want to read your entire SOP. And when they are reading it and they saw that you are very deep in the fact that you're thinking about what is your purpose in terms of why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What techniques have I applied? What outcomes have I gotten? Or what work did I do in my bachelor's? Or maybe I currently work in a place. If you are working, you can talk about how your current work, what are the things you've done there, and why you think you need a master's or a PhD to further learn. Or you feel like things are changing where you are working. Technology is being applied to a lot of things, and it's exciting. However, the opportunity to learn these things are limited where you are. Now I want to challenge yourself to go and learn that. And you found this school, that's the right place. So it's not only about you write your research. Sometimes you connect your work experience to it. The world is changing. There is advancement in technology. It's changing the way we do business. It's changing the way we interact. It's changing manufacturing. Yeah. And you are in the forefront of manufacturing, but you don't want to be left behind. And you have been doing some work in this area, but you think you need to challenge yourself and build on top of it. But that is not talking about your upbringing. That is talking about how your current work is relevant to the work you want to come and do for them, right? So you need to kind of think through, how do I want to stand out? If you don't have the research option, you have the work experience option that you want to use. In the past week, I've had someone who had used a family problem to apply for nursing. So this person had an autistic kid, and this person wrote that since she had this autistic kid, she's been taking online courses on how to take care of children, and she's learned a lot. And she put list of certificates she has obtained, and then we drafted that because of this current situation in her family, she wants to not only find solutions that will help her child, she wants to find solutions that will help many other child, and for that reason she needs this master's. And if you are a parent, if you're a professor, you read that, you will give her that opportunity. Because she has a motivation to do it. And this motivation is family based. But she has, on her own, she has taken online courses to show that don't pity me. I know that this is the condition, and this is the step I've taken. I've taken these courses, but I need more. I want to do more research in this area because I want to solve problems for children like my own child. Not only just my child. I want to solve for children like this. And I need you to give me an opportunity to be able to do that. So there are multiple ways to craft your SOP that does not need to talk about where you grew up, how you grew up. That talks about the relationship between your present and the future you are demanding them to give you. And how you. So without saying I'm passionate about something, you have demonstrated serious passion.
In writing,
by showing that I've taken courses and my child has this condition and I need that to be able to not only solve it for my child, to solve it for a lot of people. So there are so many instances. You need to sit down, think about what is my instance, what are the examples that I can cite, and what are the skills that I can say that I have done, what are my life stories that can help me show for sure that I'm the right person for this. I am the one they should give. So if a woman who has 3 kids said, my daughter has autism, I've taken 6 courses, and I want this
learn. They will.
And I will solve a problem for 3 million other kids because research told me that 3 million other kids have this problem. Will I not give that person over a person who didn't tell me about their life story? I will. So you need to look for a life, if you want to share about your life story, there has to be a serious connection between that life story and what you want to share. Not just, I grew up, I'm African. So this person is Nigerian. And she didn't have to mention for once in that SOP that we wrote. So she's Nigerian. She just talked about the problem of the kids. She didn't have to say it's because I live in Nigeria that I didn't have access to stuff. She took online courses She didn't give excuses that things are not working here is why things are slow.
Yeah.
She did everything she needed to do. And this is the way somebody in China will also do. So when you are competing, you need to remember, I'm competing against world-class people. I'm not only competing against fellow Africans. And nobody's going to pity me because there's no electricity in Nigeria. Yeah. Nobody's going to pity me because the schools in Nigeria did not offer me that. I'm on a level ground with everybody. So I need to come correct. Else, it's not just going to work out. Bro, we don't have a lot of time anymore. We probably have 2 to 3 more minutes. So we need to close. We probably have, I think the maximum we probably have before they cut us off is probably 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
Do you want to round up this SOP?
Sample that people can learn how to conceptualize their SOP. So, and since you're going to give this to right, they're just showing
so
sample what are very good that we should invite. Yeah.
So I think since we're going to give them the slides, since they're going to get the slides, they can get the samples from there. So before we close, do we want to maybe answer 1 or 2 other questions?
Go for it. Go for it. Yes.
Guys, so if your question is in the question box, you may be in luck. If you don't have your questions there, please drop your questions for the remaining time that we have. This one, do you want to answer, Doc?
Yes. You don't need to go MSc. You have MBA. You can, I don't know your background, your bachelor background, but since you have MBA, just go ahead for PhD. Don't worry. Just do everything we said today. You should be fine. In regards to SOP, there are other things.
Okay, the second one. How do we validate ourselves in school that do not require getting supervisor before admission? I can take this. So the validation is going to come by you including your, if you have a first class or a 2-1, you need to include your certificate to show that. Your transcript is going to be your validation in this case as well, because your transcript may show particularly some courses that you took that makes you a very good candidate. Your reference letters has to be solid. If you're competing against people from around the world, you need the right people to give you reference letter, and you need them to write the right things. Professor Charles has explained some of the things that needs to be in your reference letter. Your research portfolio, if you have a good research portfolio showing different things that you have done that make you the right candidate for that program, please put that research portfolio. Your CV is going to demonstrate different things you have done, and this will help you. If you have published some papers, you attended some conferences, you have some good writing samples, your CV is going to carry all of that. If you have won awards, if in the past you have won different scholarships and whatnot, you want to include that in your CV, because those are good validation for anyone to see that you're a scholar who has been a scholar for a while. You've gone to other places, won good scholarships. So there are other ways to validate yourself. If you are not in the position where you need to find admission, just include the right things in your portfolio. You'll be fine. Let me find another one.